Hello, everybody. You can see I'm working on a new piece. I'm working on Dengar here. Let's see, let's straighten them up here so you can get a good shot of them. So, but I finished up Cryptic King, and I finished him up with what did I finish him up with? A time lapse video to finish that one up. So I'm working on the new piece. Remember, both of these pieces are going to be available for bidding on when Shay does her art auction in May. I talked to her last night when I was on her show and showed her the pieces. So uh, she, she'll keep me in mind when it's time to get artists lined up for that art auction in May. So I gave her the opportunity to talk about, to remind everybody that it'll be in May, so that way those that are wanting to take part have more time to work on pieces. So, you know how lots of times uh, when I'm doing my videos, and I do the whole like, subscribe, share, comment, I always end it with remember, life is stressful, take life one dot at a time, and that pertains to like Camelot with what he went through. He was at Phoenix, and here he didn't qualify. He he timed 35th. Okay, so his time trial he was 35th, which is pretty good for his first time out in an ARCA car. He was not expecting to set the world on fire. The problem is that the cars that qualified 32nd through 40, or I should say through 41, they had owners points. What owners points are is when a car owner, when his car qualifies and the car finishes the race, he gets points. And they can use those points if they have to get into a race if they don't qualify well at future races. And that's what happened. Camelot qualified 35th, but the cars that qualified that didn't perform as well than him, they had owners points that ended up bumping him from the field, which that sucks. That really does suck. But I mean that's part of it. And also with watching the race last night, because I didn't watch the Daytona race, but watching the race, it reminded me of how ARCA's really gone far. Remember how, like, when I talked about how ARCA is the diversity shield for NASCAR, and how they have, like, well, look, we have girls in our in our sport. We've got minorities in our sport. Well, what it is like the big teams like Joe Gibbs Racing and teams like that. They have car programs in those races so they can make certain, and by getting the points, the car owner points, it ensures them a spot in the field. So that way they can keep those drivers in rides in the races. Which, and that's, I'd forgotten how ARCA had, I should say, I did not realize ARCA had grown so much that, like Camelot says, like these kids, they're silver spoon kids with daddies being the CEO. Daddy can make certain that they've got uh, the equipment and make allegiances with these big teams to make certain that they've got these big cars, that they can get these essentially these manufacturer cars with sponsorships into the races. So that hurts for Camelot, but it's part of the sport. You can't complain too much about it. It's been going on in the Cup and Xfinity and Truck Series since I started following racing back in '99. So again, I look and go, it's part of the sport. So unfortunately, he didn't get into the race. I'm hoping he does better. And what hurts is the better these drivers do moving forward, the more they stay in the races. Lots of times, what it is you'll have like, oh, okay, we got into Daytona. It gave us the money. We can go to another race. Okay, we got into that race, finished well. We can keep going to the next race. A lot of times that doesn't happen with ARC, and now it is. So he's got an uphill battle. He's got to fight, which again that sucks, but it's part of the racing. So I hope he does better and hope he's able to qualify in for Talladega. That's the next race he's doing. So I mean, yeah, it's absolutely sucks. Uh, but I think of it this way also: is that think of it this way in terms of comics. Okay, Camelot's a comic book artist, and he's doing really good submission pages. Okay, and let's say it's Dark Horse. Dark Horse is like, oh, look at those pages. We want to have you. But then for this one project, but then here, Kevin West. And I'm not making fun of Kevin West, but let's say Kevin West, who is a minor name. He's been in the industry a while. He contacts Dark Horse and goes, hey, I don't have any work on. I want work. Okay? I'm not worried about the fact that it's not going to pay well, but I want work. They're going to go like, he gives us more name recognition. Camelot, your pencils are better than Kevin West's, but he's got name recognition. We need that for the project. You've been bumped. You've been looked over. And we all know that that does happen. Uh, the industry's full of that, where they'll premise, okay, you're going to get this job, but then they turn around and they give this to someone else. It's part of the comic book industry, just as it's part of NASCAR. It happens. I'm hoping that Camelot's able to use the weekend though and not wallow in loss, and he can use it to continue to make connections, and hopefully a team will look at him and like, well, he look how he did. Um, let's keep him in mind, because here's the thing also is that he made a remark on one of his streams that there it looks like he's going to have the ability to possibly run maybe some truck and maybe some Xfinity races down the line. Okay. Now you're asking yourself, well, how is that if he's not getting into these races? Okay. Here's the thing. Usually halfway through the year, if they have, let's say, a truck driver and he's doing well, and then like, okay, we want to test him out at the next level. We don't want him distracted by driving the truck series when we're going to this weekend when we have him at or maybe the truck series is racing at a different location than say the Xfinity series. Okay, they're going to be like, look, Camelot, we have this vehicle. The driver's not going to be in it because we have him at a at a higher tier race that weekend. We need a driver for the car. Okay, we don't want to lose our owners points by not competing. We need a driver, and we're going to have you in it. That's how it works, with possibility of him getting a ride in with another team and at a higher series. It happens. So, and all he is really is just a placeholder for the car owner to make certain that they lose as few points as possible. Because by not competing, they're not getting any points. But at least if they can use it. If they, let's say Camelot doesn't qualify well, he still gets into the race because the car owner points, and then he can really show what he's got for, and it helps him out with steps more in the future. So, but I mean, we think about how competitive comic books are. What Camelot's going through is a perfect example of how competitive sports and art is. And you don't get a participation trophy just for showing up. You don't really like, well, Camelot, you're a really nice guy and we really like you, so we're just going to let you in the race. No, he did not qualify for the race. He can't get in. Okay? It's like what Aaron said when he was once doing a seminar, and he used, I think he used either uh, basketball or he used uh, no, basketball or football. And he goes, there's X amount of teams, X amount of positions available. Okay, you have a better chance of getting uh, into basketball than as a comic book artist. And it's a harsh reality, but it's true. So they only take the best. It's not one of those where it's like, well, you do good artwork, and we're going to give you a chance. No, I mean, if anything, that's where you see the decline in comics because they stopped looking at it that way. They stopped looking at it going, okay, you're really good. We're going to let you have the book. They're like, no, we're going to have this other person that's not worthy because they have inferior artwork and inferior storytelling skills. We're going to give it to them because we like them more. Okay, and unfortunately, the editors are not talented, and they're putting their ideology and friends in front of what makes a good product. So I feel bad for Camelot, but like I said, it's part of the sport. It's part of it. So, but I'm hoping he bounces back, and I hope he does better down the line. Uh, Part of him moving forward is the fact that he's getting these sponsorship deals. Uh, that helps other car owners who I've got a car, I've got points, but I don't have the sponsorship. Oh, you've got the sponsorship? That helps. Okay, we can go to this race where normally before we weren't going to go to this race. So I'm hoping that he does. I'm hoping the best for Camelot. And like I said, if anything, he's got me more interested again in NASCAR, where I completely was ignoring NASCAR for the last like 5, 6 years. So, but you know how lots of times I say, uh, life is stressful. Just take it all one day at a time. That's one of those scenarios where, yeah, life is stressful, and you just take it one day at a time. It's not an appropriate thing to say though when you have what Graham went through with his daughter's house burning down and them losing everything except for a few things, such as some Christmas ornaments and her wedding dress. Um, she, they lost everything, and Graham did a art auction to help promote the GoFundMe he started up for them, and he was able to raise some money. I think he raised. I didn't pay attention to exactly how much money is. I would guess between like what David Williams was pulling in and Ethan was pulling in, and some of those guys that I think I think it's fair to say that he pulled in about $3,000 when he did his art auction, and it was a really nice thing. Now the thing is, though, is that I understand why Graham did it right away. Okay, Becky and Preston, they need the money now. Okay, um, but I thought about how I wish Graham had been able to hold off just a little bit, just hold off till this weekend, and really, and this again, this is not a negative thing against Graham. Okay, uh, Graham Graham probably is not aware of the celebrity art auctions, or not the fundraising auctions that Comicsgate has done in the past. The most recent I think of being Sean Arendt's, the fundraiser we did for him and for his mother, with the medical bills that racked up with his mother after she up to her passing away, and they had to GoFundMe for it. They did the celebrity they did the art auction as a whole evening event on a Saturday, and it was over 3 channels. Even Ethan participated in it, and with some big items, along with everybody else. Like I think about how like Rini had a piece, and Ken Rocafort had a piece. Uh, it started on Joe Sontag's channel, then it went to uh, Michael Bancroft's channel, and then lastly it ended on Jeremy's channel. And just the pieces they had available from the fan artists that everybody loves. and everybody bound together. They were giving away, they were auctioning off comic books, artwork. I mean, pretty much everything. Guys were like taking artwork that they had won from uh, Fragtober and Fragajune, and they're donating that. Other artists were like donating artwork from their personal collection that they'd even commissioned. And one person, he donated a piece he'd won, and the person that auctioned it and won it donated the piece directly to Sean for Sean to have. Uh, that's that was such a great evening, just watching everybody come together. And so I hope that Graham recognizes all of the work, what everybody did to take part in that event, and that the next time we have a a fundraising art auction, even if it's for someone that isn't like a big mainstream, like Aaron Lepresti or Dan Fraga. Let's say it's for let's say it's for Danger Vanessa. For whatever reason, Danger Vanessa needs some assistance. She has a medical issue, and I'm not wishing this upon on Vanessa at all. But let's say she did, and everybody comes together to have this auction to help out. I hope is made aware of it, and Graham will take part in it. So, and that same thing goes with all the bros. As much as I like the bros, in many ways, and I understand why they try not to get too involved in the community because of all the drama. But I hope they start becoming more aware of the actions and events with some of these small channels. And I'm not talking about like helping promote their books, but when something like that happens, helping to uh, help promote it, participate in it. I think it would really show um, the truth, strength of Comicsgate. That's not about how big your name is, but it's all about coming together as a community to help each other out. So, okay, guys, I'm going over in time. One last thing I want to talk to you guys about is, again, on top of Graham, with what happened with Becky and Preston. Uh, in my comics book world, we had a significant loss. Bill Wall, the owner or the co-owner of the Comics Connection, he passed away. He passed away this week. It was a great shock. They're not posting any reasons why he died or how he died, but it's still Ned and Bill started the Comics Connection over 30 years ago. They literally just had this last weekend, not this weekend, but the last previous weekend. They had their 32nd or 34th anniversary sale for their two stores. So now that Bill's passed, I mean, obviously Ned has to figure out what he's going to do. He's obviously going to have to buy out Bill's family of their half of the store. Does that mean that they keep both stores open? Does that mean they close one of the stores? If they close one of the stores, which one do they close? I'm certain that Bill and Ned have discussed this stuff uh, between them. It's like if the industry was doing bad enough, they had to close one of the stores or sell the one store. Which one would they keep open? Which one would they sell? Or they just close the doors completely? Those might be things that we have to look at in the central Pennsylvania area because uh, Bill is gone. And Bill and Ned Bill helped make a very good modern store. It wasn't the type of store where it's, uh, how comic book stores used to be when they first started. It was like hole in the wall, dingy, dank, kind of shady looking. No, they had a storefront. They had a storefront in malls. That's where their first two locations were in malls. Then they went to the strip malls, and that's where they currently both are. The one in Mechanicsburg and the one in York are both at strip malls, and they have that modern look to it, where it's like had almost like a respectability storefront level to it. So, and I've talked to Bill numerous times, so it's gonna seem weird going into the stores and he's not there, or his influence on the store isn't there. The strength that they have, though, is Ned, the other co-owner. His son is a big part of the store. So I hope maybe what Ned's son does is he takes the ownership from the Wall family. So, but I mean, life goes on. I mean, it's just like I said. It's like, how I normally end my videos. It just doesn't seem appropriate. It seems almost callous compared to uh, with the topics I'm talking about. So I'm going to leave that more normal ending out. So, and you can see how the progress is going here in Dengar, and I'll be continuing it. This will be my new weekend video for you guys while I work on other stuff when I'm not doing these videos. So you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.